One empty chair, one frozen room, one decision that may have exposed a royal power struggle nobody was supposed to see. What was meant to be a flawless Commonwealth dinner suddenly turned into a shocking confrontation when William allegedly stepped between Camilla and Catherine's reserved seat, creating a moment so uncomfortable that even the king himself was forced into silence. And according to the story, that chair was never just a chair. It had become a symbol of power, status, loyalty, and the future of the monarchy itself. The Commonwealth dinner was supposed to project confidence to the world. Leaders, diplomats, and royal figures gathered beneath glittering chandeliers while cameras waited to capture another carefully managed display of royal unity. Everything was arranged with military precision. Every guest had a place, every movement carried meaning, every seat represented rank. But before the first course even reached the tables, something happened that allegedly transformed the atmosphere inside the room. As guests settled into their assigned positions, Catherine's chair remained empty beside William. Her delayed arrival had already attracted attention. Yet according to the account, the seat remained reserved exactly where it had been placed. Then came the moment that changed everything. Camilla reportedly moved toward the chair reserved for the Princess of Wales. For a split second, perhaps nobody understood what was happening. Then William moved. Not dramatically, not loudly, not with anger exploding across the room. That was what made the moment feel even more powerful. He simply stepped forward. A hand touched the back of the chair. A boundary was drawn. And suddenly everyone watching understood that this was no misunderstanding. According to the story, William informed Camilla that the seat would remain reserved for his wife. The room froze. Conversations faded. Smiles disappeared. Even those pretending not to look were looking, because inside royal circles, symbolism often speaks louder than words. And in that moment, the symbolism was deafening. The humiliation reportedly hit instantly. Camilla had spent years building her position inside the monarchy, years seeking acceptance, years trying to secure authority. Yet now, in front of international guests and senior royals, she allegedly found herself standing between a chair she wanted and a future king who refused to surrender it. Then came an even more disturbing detail. An equerry reportedly confirmed that Camilla already had an assigned seat. The arrangement had never changed. Even more shocking, someone had apparently moved her place card before the event began. Suddenly, the mystery deepened. Who moved it? Why was it moved? And who benefited from creating confusion around Catherine's place? William reportedly noticed immediately that something bigger was happening. The missing place card wasn't just an accident. It looked like preparation, like planning, like somebody had been working behind the scenes long before guests entered the room. Meanwhile, Charles allegedly watched everything unfold from across the room. And perhaps the most explosive detail wasn't what he said. It was what he didn't say. No defense, no intervention, no immediate support for either side, just silence. A silence that reportedly left Camilla standing alone, while the entire room wondered whether the king would ultimately choose loyalty to his wife or support for his heir. That silence became its own message. And in royal politics, silence can be more devastating than words. As the evening continued, another revelation reportedly surfaced. A seating amendment had allegedly been submitted requesting that Catherine be moved 3 places away from William. Palace officials reportedly rejected the request. No approval, no discussion, no change. But the existence of the amendment raised a disturbing question. If the request had already been denied, why did the confrontation happen anyway? William reportedly demanded documentation. He wanted answers. He wanted records. He wanted to know who had attempted to alter the arrangement and why Catherine's position had become such a target. And that was when old wounds allegedly resurfaced. The account points back 6 weeks earlier to another Commonwealth gathering. During a private toast, Catherine had reportedly received praise for handling a difficult diplomatic situation. Charles allegedly described her as essential to the monarchy's future relationships. For many guests, it sounded like a compliment. For others, it may have sounded like something else. A shift, a signal, a glimpse of the future. According to the story, Camilla responded with a carefully crafted remark suggesting that the future should not become so celebrated that the present queen disappears. The sentence appeared polite, elegant, controlled, yet William reportedly heard something hidden beneath the words. And Catherine heard it too. From that moment forward, the tension allegedly began building beneath the surface. Quietly, gradually, like pressure accumulating inside a sealed chamber. Then came the confrontation behind closed doors, away from cameras, away from diplomats, away from public smiles. William reportedly confronted Camilla directly. The recovered seating chart sat between them. The disputed amendment sat on the page. And the accusations finally surfaced. Camilla allegedly argued that a queen should never appear secondary to an absent princess. William allegedly responded with a statement that left no room for compromise. That seat belongs to my wife. Not because she was present, not because she outranked anyone, but because it was her place. And according to the story, absence did not make it available. For a moment, years of resentment reportedly spilled into the open. Camilla allegedly allegedly spoke about living in the shadow of another woman, another life, another crown. William reportedly acknowledged the pain but refused to allow sympathy to become surrender. Then another bombshell emerged. Camilla allegedly admitted requesting the amendment, but denied removing the place card. If true, that changed everything, because it suggested another person may have carried the conflict one step further than she intended. Another player, another hidden hand, another figure operating behind the scenes. Just when it seemed the confrontation could not become more explosive, Charles allegedly entered carrying the original memorandum approving the seating arrangement. Father, son, wife, all standing together. No more rumors, no more assumptions, only documents, only decisions, only consequences. And as the room reportedly fell silent once again, one question remained hanging over everyone involved. Was this really about a chair? According to the story, everything changed the moment Charles entered the room carrying the original memorandum. Up until that point, there had still been room for excuses, misunderstandings, and carefully crafted explanations. But documents have a dangerous habit of stripping away convenient narratives. And as Charles reportedly placed the memorandum on the table, the atmosphere inside that private room became heavier than ever. The king had allegedly approved Catherine's position himself. Not a courtier, not an aide, not William. The king. That meant the disputed chair was no longer just connected to Catherine. It was directly connected to Charles's authority. Suddenly, challenging the arrangement looked less like a disagreement over protocol and more like a challenge to the monarch's own decision. The implications were enormous. According to the account, Charles studied both the original arrangement and the rejected amendment requesting Catherine's removal. The silence stretched. Nobody moved. Nobody interrupted. Then came the moment that allegedly stunned everyone in the room. Charles reportedly stated that his instructions had been clear from the beginning and that the arrangement should never have been challenged in front of Commonwealth leaders. Those words hit like a thunderbolt. For William, it appeared to be validation. For Camilla, it reportedly felt like abandonment. And for the monarchy itself, it exposed fractures that had remained hidden beneath years of carefully choreographed appearances. But the drama did not end there. According to the story, Charles revealed that an unauthorized aide from Camilla's household had allegedly removed Catherine's place card after the amendment had already been rejected. That revelation shifted the entire narrative. Suddenly, there was a new mystery. Who authorized the move? How far had the plan gone? And most importantly, was this truly the action of a single aide or evidence of a broader effort operating behind palace walls? Questions multiplied faster than answers. The king reportedly ordered an immediate review and removed the aide from the event. Yet, even as corrective measures were taken, the damage had already spread throughout the dinner hall. Guests had witnessed enough to know something significant had happened. When Camilla allegedly returned to her assigned seat, the atmosphere had completely changed. No formal announcement was necessary. No explanation was required. Everyone understood the outcome. Catherine's place card had been restored. William remained beside the empty chair, and the symbolism became impossible to ignore. To some observers, it looked like a husband defending his wife. To others, it resembled a future king defending the next generation of royal leadership. Either way, the image carried power far beyond the dining hall itself. Every glance, every whispered conversation, every uncomfortable silence only amplified the perception that something far bigger than seating arrangements was unfolding. Then came another twist. According to the story, Catherine eventually arrived and requested a private meeting with Camilla. No aides, no Charles, no William, no witnesses. Just the two women whose names had become the center of an escalating royal storm. Behind closed doors, the confrontation reportedly became more personal than political. Camilla allegedly admitted feeling threatened by the growing focus on Catherine's future role. Catherine allegedly responded that she had never wanted anyone else's position, but would no longer allow her own place to be diminished simply to ease another person's fears. The conversation was said to be painful, honest, and impossible to forget. Years of comparison, resentment, and insecurity reportedly surfaced in a single room. Yet, unlike the public confrontation, this private discussion allegedly produced something closer to understanding than warfare. But by then, the palace had already lost control of the story. One image reportedly escaped into public view. William standing beside Catherine's empty chair. Camilla positioned across from him. No shouting, no dramatic gestures. Yet, the photograph told a story all by itself. Newspapers allegedly transformed it into a symbol. Commentators debated it endlessly. Supporters and critics rushed to assign meaning. Some viewed it as proof of loyalty, others saw evidence of division. The monarchy's carefully planned dinner had reportedly become a worldwide conversation about power, succession, and royal authority. According to the account, the final family meeting brought a temporary resolution. Charles allegedly confirmed Catherine's future prominence at Commonwealth events. Camilla Camilla reportedly accepted responsibility and acknowledged that fear had influenced her actions. William was told his intervention had been justified, but also warned that strength should never become public punishment. Catherine accepted the apology without pretending the damage had vanished. The family moved forward, but the memory remained, because in the end, the story insists that this was never really about furniture. It was about recognition, about boundaries, about who holds influence inside the monarchy and who protects it. And as the palace lights dimmed and the final guests departed, one uncomfortable question reportedly lingered in the air. If a single empty chair could expose so much tension, what other battles might still be unfolding behind palace doors where cameras cannot see and where silence remains the most powerful weapon of all?